Hey guys, I wanted to talk about Vanilla World of Warcraft again. I know everybody's talking about it on the internet. It's actually quite a huge topic. You see a lot of videos out there. I mean, just Google Vanilla WoW, or Classic, sorry, Classic World of Warcraft. And I think, sorry, I don't play on the server hardly ever, and it's nice to get into different servers. But anyways, this is a Wrath of Lich King server. Except, and but I think Vanilla WoW. I mean Classic WoW. I keep saying Vanilla Classic WoW. They're calling it Classic World of Warcraft. And one of the things that's interesting, is the changes. There are changes into it, and most of the changes because I've done quite a bit of research yesterday. Most changes are really around the leveling experience, and which is, to my opinion, the strength of Classic WoW. I'm still going to call it Vanilla WoW. I'm going to say Vanilla World of Warcraft. You know what? I'm going to say Vanilla World of Warcraft, meaning the original version of the game. And when I say classic, I'm just talking specifically about the new classic version of the game, which really is a version of Vanilla World of Warcraft. And some of the most important things that we're seeing in the betas and in the alphas, whatever you want to call it, that people have been able to play, which is they've gotten the classic client, they've gone in there, they've played it. And what they found out is that the regeneration rates, actually, you know what would be even more interesting is for me to go back into my Warlock, is that the regeneration rates in Classic WoW, the client, are much, much slower. And I mean, they're a lot slower. And I was watching a video of a guy playing the Classic client. And let's go back to, actually, let's just leave this open. And, well, no, if I switch clients, I'm going to have to stop the video. So, but the regeneration rates of health and mana. So, like, if I'm on a warlock and I cast a spell, maybe I cast 3 spells, and my mana here is 248. Let's say I'm a warlock and I cast 3 spells, all my mana will be gone. And if I'm out of combat, that bar starts to go back up pretty quickly. I mean, I'll regen to full mana probably within maybe 4 to 5 seconds. Now, in the classic client, that's not the case. The regen is much slower, and in fact, I was looking at Stay Safe's video, and he's got a really good video on it, and he was estimating it's about twice as slow, and he does a lot of, at least he claims to do a lot of, fast leveling series. I'm really, if you want to hear my opinion on speed runs and stuff like Sekiro or games like that, I'm not a big fan of those things, but whatever. I mean, I understand how people want to figure out the fastest way to level, and that's fine, but, I like to enjoy the content. So, but it is interesting that the regen is much slower. He says as much as twice as slow. That's going to have a big impact on your leveling experience. Another thing is they talk about, that he mentioned that I hadn't seen before in some of the other videos I've watched, and I've watched quite a few, is that if he was in like a cave and there was a lot of monsters around him, like kind of pathing, so that basically the mob pathing is a lot more random. And that he found out that in a lot of cases, he was trying to sit down to drink, and mobs that he didn't even see behind him or in front of him in the cave anywhere. He couldn't even see him. They pathed from quite a long distance away and interrupted his drinking. So that's going to make solo leveling at low levels, at any level, really pretty tricky. You can easily get yourself killed if you're not paying attention. If you're drinking and stuff, you might want to spin your camera around and take a look. And of course, as you guys know, and no one has mentioned the aggro ranges in Classic, and that's something I would be really interesting to see, and that would be a question I would like to ask people. Maybe I'll post that on Stay Safes because he might have an answer to that. Is are they still like that? Because really the aggro range in Classic is quite far. Like, so if you see this, if you see Marshall Dugan right here, let's see, he's a spider and I'm level 3 and the spider's level 3. If I'm standing here to Dugan, that's probably close enough where it's going to aggro to me. At the same level, that's pretty good distance. So if just think about if you're in a cave and that spider, like in the Night Elf area, and that spider aggroes me, and then maybe you're attacking him and you get 2 or 3 more spiders that just happen to path from up the road to you and get on you. It'd be very easy for you to die. So that's something that people are really going to have to pay attention to when you're leveling. Another thing is he's talking about, and different people, multiple people have actually mentioned this, and that the armor value of monsters during your leveling experience is much higher. So basically, the monsters you're hitting are going to take a lot less damage from your physical attacks, and also the spells that monsters have. That monsters that didn't used to have, spells now have them. So that's really going to impact Frost Mage's leveling experiences if they're trying to go and like Enceladus around a bunch of Earth elementals and just AoE them down, and all of a sudden these Earth elementals are throwing fireball at you. So that's going to prevent you from doing that's tactic entirely. Another thing that he mentions is the raid bosses, and that raid bosses in a lot of the classic and a lot of the vanilla. Sorry, I keep mixing up these words. A lot of the vanilla clients. If you go up to a raid boss and let's say he looks like a magic, you would expect him to have a high spell resistance, but that's not the case. If you go up to him and he's wearing tons and tons of plate armor, you would expect him to have a high armor rating, and that's also not the case. But in the classic client, they have modified these resistances and armor based on what the character looks like. If you got a big, huge raid boss in full plate, what is this? This guy's big. Let's see, what has he got going on here? Oh, how is he so large? Anyways. So yeah, so the raid bosses are going to take into account, much more spell resistance, much more armor, which is going to make them much more difficult. So raiding could be, more difficult as well. What else? What else? So the pathing. I'm trying to think. I know there's a few other things. Nah. Wow, that was weird. Why did my... Oh, I'll have to wait. I didn't see that. You have to wait 30 seconds for speaking again. Wow. So, I can't think of anything else. I know I talked before about the water. They've actually incorporated Cataclysm Water, the new water effect engine, into Classic, and you can turn that on or off. It kind of gives you the option of flipping back and forth between the different types of armor. And look at this person asking for armor gold after this guy just said, "Don't ask me for gold." So yeah, so there's different armor that there's different water effects, there's different shadows, and that'll be available to you in the UI settings, and I think that's nice. I mean, you can go to the typical old just circle shadow like what we're seeing here in this Wrath of the Lich King client, where it's just a circle, but they have actual real silhouettes in later versions of the game, like a silhouette of the character casting a shadow, and you could actually see that in the classic if you turn the shadow settings up all the way and you do the quality of the shadows. Let's actually look at the interface right here, and I'm curious. Video, and what I want to look at is that shadows. Do we even have shadows in here? Effects, shadow quality. So let's go high, and you can see there's that silhouette. So I don't know why mine would be turned down. My computer's not gonna have a hard time running this client. So, all right, cool. So that's some of the things I want to talk about. I think they're going to have some stress tests coming up. I think 3 different ones. They also are going to be having on August, I think the 13th, where you can log into the actual WoW Classic client just to create 3 characters. And if you have a subscription to WoW, you'll be able to log in at that point in time just to create 3 characters, to try to reserve some character names, which I think is a pretty neat thing. I haven't seen any kind of monetization. I haven't seen anybody talking about anything other than possible character realm transfers. And realm transfers were, I think, in Vanilla WoW at a certain point, where basically people, your friends are on a different server, and you want to be able to, go to that server and play with your friends. So they offer you the option of realm transfers. Oh, sure. That's nice of him to give me these bags. That was nice of him to give me those bags. I didn't even have any bags. All I had was this little tiny bag, my backpack. So that's actually really sweet that he gave me these netherweave babs. So these are 18 slots or 16s. So I don't know why it's not opening them. I'm just reloading the UI here. But anyway, so I just want to make some of those comments. I think we're going to see a lot more stuff. People are in the they beta yesterday playing World of Warcraft. Some of the streamers were streaming it, and it was a very small beta, and they were only doing, family and friends and just influencers, whoever they felt like. One of the big things that concerns me is that Ezen Hazastogas is a part of, he's a part of the ideas or the suggestions or the changes to the classic client. I mean, he's like driving some of that stuff, and I'm not a fan of him. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not a fan of him at all. And I think Jalen Dick. I mean, Brack. I think they pulled him out. I think he's the president now, so he really shouldn't be down at that level. That really shouldn't be his role. So Ian's more prominent as kind of the leader of the classic WoW, and I really had hoped that wasn't going to be the case. I would have liked to have seen them bring someone in who really has a love for the original version of the game, who really has a love of the game in general, and put them in the role of being more of the project team lead. I have seen a lot of videos with developers that I've never seen before, and I've really liked those videos. I've seen a lot of programmers, I've seen some VFX people, and I can tell that they really like, the classic WoW, and that that gives me some hope. We're talking about the release. We don't know how many servers are going to be. There is another technology that they've created called layering. Instead of using the instances or the sharding, which I don't like, they're actually creating something called layering, which is similar to sharding. But the difference is if an area gets too crowded, and that reminds me of something else that's really interesting that I need to talk about in a second. But if like, let's say I'm here in Goldshire, there's a ton of people here. What they'll do is they can create layers. So they might create another version of Elwyn Forest, and they may put you in that version of Elwyn Forest, but it's only for people on this server, right? So you will not be getting people from other servers, and that's the one thing that sharding did, which I think is just completely wrong. Because one of the things at creating a community for a vanilla WoW server or a classic server is you want to be able to log in and see a lot of the same people every day. It's the same people playing on the server, right? I can't, I'm an alliance, right? So I can't change my name, right? That option doesn't exist. Changing realms is going to be expensive, so I'm probably not going to want to do that. And you want to develop your reputation on the server as a good player, as someone people can trust. And eventually, as the server matures, everybody's going to kind of know everybody. So if you're doing layering, it's not a bad thing, really. You're saying that the area is overcrowded. I'm going to create another layer and just push. So you may be in Goldshire, but you may not be in the exact place, the same instance of Goldshire as your guild buddy, your guild mate. Now, if you join into a group, you'll be put into the same group, right? So it's not a bad thing, and it's there specifically to handle, massive overcrowding. And so I think it's an okay. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, which I think I already forgot because I was talking about the sharding, was, this is really big. This is a really big one. I mean, a really, really big one. Is that they are not doing dynamic respawn times. And a lot of classic servers have dynamic respawn rates, which means as an area gets more and more crowded, one second. And so the mob, they're doing static respawn rates on the mob. So let's say you're in the starter area for in Elwyn Forest, or not Elwyn Forest, but the starter area for Night Elves. I can't remember the exact. What is the starter area called? Because you have Dolinar. I don't remember that little valley there. But if you're in that area and it gets really, really crowded, the mobs aren't their respawn rates aren't increasing in speed. So it's going to make quest hubs that are really, really overcrowded very, very hard to complete quests in. And because of the regeneration rates being nerfed, it's almost like Ian is trolling us. I mean, honestly, because if you watch the video of him and JL and Brack sitting and talking about Vanilla WoW, and I've mentioned it so many different times, they don't seem very, they almost seem like they're laughing about Vanilla WoW. And they almost seem like, to them, it's a joke. It's like the redheaded stepchild, like they don't care about it. Yeah, we got to do it, but we don't. They're almost like they're making fun of it. And I still get the impression that they don't care that much about Vanilla WoW, which I don't understand. I don't understand that idea. Why don't you care about what made this game what it is today? I mean, the classic WoW, Vanilla WoW, whatever, is the best iteration of World of Warcraft, hands down. Hands down, right? I mean, you can say Burning Crusade if you want, and I have no problem with that because I love Burning Crusade. You can say Wrath of the Lich King, and I disagree with you on that one because in my opinion, Wrath of the Lich King is not. Wrath of the Lich King does have a great story, but to get you that base game that everybody fell in love with, you really have to go to Vanilla WoW and experience the way it was. And so for someone like Ian and JL and Dick, I mean Brack, to sit there and and kind of slight it as if it's not that important is it kind of offends me. And I'm almost wondering if Ian is like, oh, you guys want to play Classic WoW, you like the slower leveling, I'm going to make it even more slow. I'm going to troll you and say, you know what, I'm going to do things that make it even more difficult. I mean, having the mobs, the AI pathing be more wild and random, having the regen rates slower, having the mobs have more armor and throughout the game, giving monsters that never had spells before spells, all of that stuff could be a great troll. Hey, kudos to you if you want to troll the classic WoW community or the vanilla WoW community. But in my opinion, most of those things are actually a good thing. Although I'm not really a fan of the static spawn timers because the static spawn timers are going to cause problems it's just going to slow down your questing. If there's a bunch of people in there and you're trying to do the same quest and the mobs are all dead and you're all waiting for them to respawn and they're not, they're on a 5-minute timer, it could be a pain in the butt. My 2 cats are fighting at my feet. It could be a pain in the butt, but that's, whatever. I think anything that makes the game more difficult or more of, you had to expend more effort is a good thing, So we'll see how it goes. I want to put this video out there and just talk about that and see, let you guys know that there are going to be some changes in the classic client if they continue this way and they make it into the launch, because we don't know. They're still going to be doing some betas. They're still going to be doing some stress tests. So some of these things could change. They really could. So we just don't know at this point. Let's take a look here. We are in Wrath of the Lich King. Cute Faith the Paladin. And this will be kind of interesting because in Wrath of the Lich King, I think Retribution Paladins are pretty strong. Pretty sure they're strongest in Burning Crusade as far as PvP, but we'll find out. Oh, level up, baby. Oh, level 9. Okay, and they changed the Civil Righteousness is 30 minutes. Man. Instead of vanilla WoW, what is it, like 15 seconds? Yeah, I don't like that. I actually like the way it was in vanilla better, where you have your seal up, and then when you use it, your seal's gone, That's kind of the whole point. You're judging your seal, so you're getting rid of it. You're dumping that. I don't like the way they do it here. So, anyways, that's just a quick video talking about some of those things. I think Classic WoW, from what I've seen on YouTube, and I don't do a lot of Twitch. I don't really go to Twitch a lot. I'm not a big fan of Twitch. I hate all the advertisements and all the bullshit. Oh, did you see that? My camera. Why did my camera scroll back up? So most of the information around video games, I glean off the web and I glean off of YouTube. And I think one thing that you can see is there's a tremendous, even more than what I thought. Once they announced the release of Classic WoW on August 26, 27, there's been a lot more response on YouTube than I thought there would be. Even me, and I thought there'd be a lot of response. And I'm surprised. If you do a search for Classic WoW, there is so much stuff on YouTube. So I'm thinking, and I knew there was going to be more people playing on those servers than they thought. In fact, I have a bet with a coworker about it, and and I was thinking they'd have maybe like a couple million, but I think it could be higher. I think it could even go up as high as 4 million players playing Classic WoW. And, it's going to be interesting. And it's too bad we can't see the numbers. And it'll also be hard to say. And they did and I think they did this on purpose. I don't think they want to get in a situation where they say, hey, the retail game has, 4 million people playing it, and Classic WoW has, 6 million. I think if that ever happened, they'd have to eat crow. They'd be like, because all along they're like, oh, no one wants to play Classic WoW. J. Allen Dick, Brack said that, you think you do want that, but you don't, what a fucking douchebag. And, so I don't think they ever want to see that. I mean, they do. Secretly they do, because they're making money, right? But I don't think they're going to try to release the numbers in that way, and that's why to play Classic WoW, you have to have a subscription to the retail game. So, they're not going to say, well, Classic has this many and retail has this many because it's all the same subscription. So they'll just say, oh, we have this many more people playing, and everybody could say, well, you have this many more people playing, and before you didn't, so this is all Classic WoW, and it'd be a very valid argument. But they'd say, well, I mean, really, it's going to be pretty obvious. But they don't release the subscriber numbers now. But it's going to be pretty obvious that if all of a sudden, there's just a shit ton of people playing WoW, that it's mostly going to be the new Classic WoW, players. So, anyways, I got to get ready for work. So I'm going to end this video here in a second. But I'm having fun. I love killing kobolds. Come on, baby. Take it. Oh, my waist is heavy. Let's do it. Nice. Oh, the old charge. You want to charge me? You want to try to pull me? You want to try to take my mobs away from me? I don't think so. You can see that. And look how easy this is. This right now, just what I'm seeing right here makes me not want to play this game. I mean, I'm killing 3 mobs, 2 mobs. I'm taking so little damage, I'm taking very little damage. I mean, I could probably take 4 or 5 of these at once. And I know I'm level 9, but still, they should be doing more damage than that. What level are these guys? These guys are 6. Okay, maybe it's because of the level, but it still feels a lot easier than it probably should. And I keep throwing up my seal because I'm so used to doing that. You see that? But I don't need to because it's fucking 30 minutes and it doesn't even... Oh, no. Okay, I have these bags, but it won't let me open them. Did he, troll me with these bags? What is this all about? See, he gave me these bags, but I can't open them. How can my inventory be full when I have 2 16-slot bags? Wow. All right, whatever. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you have a good day today, and I will catch you later.